Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Charlie. On today's episode, I'm going to be showing y'all how to make my delicious apple cinnamon gooey butter cake. Now, gooey butter cake is a flat and dense cake. It originated in the St. Louis area, St. Louis, Missouri. Now, there's two different versions. The first version, I don't remember the ingredients to that one, but the second version is made with a cake mix and a cream cheese topping, which is what this is. It consists of a spice cake crust with an apple cinnamon cream cheese topping, and we use fresh apples, of course, and we add it into the pan first, and then we pour the cream cheese filling on top, and then the apples float to the surface, and we sprinkle some cinnamon on top, and from there we place it into the oven and bake it to perfection. This recipe calls for about 12 individual servings of apple cinnamon gooey butter cake. It's rich, full of apple cinnamon flavor, perfect for fall, and absolutely delicious. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, here's all you'll need to make your gooey apple cinnamon butter cake. Let's get started with our ingredients. You'll need 4 large Granny Smith apples, that's about 2.5 pounds of that. And along with that, you'll need 1 small lemon. You'll also need some Duncan Hines Perfectly Moist Spice Cake Mix, 2 8-ounce packages of cream cheese at room temperature, unsalted butter, large eggs at room temperature, vanilla extract, almond extract, ground cinnamon, salt, powdered sugar, and some brown sugar. And for your tools, you have some options here. You can either use the Baker's Joy nonstick baking spray if you have a nonstick pan, or if you have one of those other type of pans, you can just use some parchment paper to provide a nonstick surface for the cake. And along with that, you will need a fruit peeler and a 9 by 13 inch glass or metal pan. Now, of course, my pan is nonstick. Okay. And there we have it. All right, let's get straight to it. So here I have 1 large apple. I'm going to take my fruit peeler. From there, I'm just going to peel the apple. You want to make sure you do this to all 4 apples. And there we go. Okay, next I'm going to rinse off my apples and my lemon off with cold water. Alright, here we have our apple. Now, if you have an apple core, that'll be great for this recipe. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to align the apple core with the apple itself, just like that. And from there, I'm going to push down. And there we have it. From there, we can remove the core. And there's our apple slices. And to make sure that the core has been completely removed, as you can see right here, some of it still remains. I'm going to just take a knife and I'm just going to trim that off. And there we go. Same thing right here. Just trim off just a little bit. And there you go. Okay, next we're going to take each apple slice and we're going to slice it, basically. We're going to cut it into slices. 1, 2. So you get about 3 slices. Now see, this one is a little bit thinner, so we just cut it like that. And once done, you're going to take your apple slices and you're going to place them into this medium-sized bowl. And meanwhile, I'm just going to cut the lemon in half. From there, I'm just going to squeeze just a little small amount of the lemon juice onto the apples. From there, I'm just going to toss the apples. The lemon juice is going to prevent the apples from turning brown. Also give it flavor as well. Alright, that looks good. I'm going to let this sit here until it's ready to be assembled onto our cake. Alright, let's get started with making our cake crust. So in this large bowl, I'm going to add the entire contents of the Duncan Hines Spice Cake Mix. That's about 15 ounces total, right on in there. And to that, I'm going to add 1 stick of unsalted butter melted, 1 large egg at room temperature, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I'm going to take my spoon and I'm just going to stir this until the mixture forms a dough. Now, if you want to use a stand mixer, you can do that if you want to. It's totally up to you. As you can see, the mixture has formed into a dough. You can see here. I just knead this a little bit. The dough should be nice and soft. That's exactly what you're looking for. And there we go. Okay, let's get started with making a filling. So in this medium-sized bowl, I'm going to add 2 8-ounce packages of cream cheese at room temperature. And to that, I'm going to add 4 cups of confection sugar. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And to that, I'm going to add a half a cup of brown sugar. Just push that on in there. 6 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. 4 large eggs at room temperature. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. 1 teaspoon of almond extract. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I have a little allspice here. I'm going to just add a little sprinkle of that, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of that in there. And 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, so from now I'm going to just take my spoon and I'm just going to carefully stir all the ingredients together. Now you want to stir this until it just starts to combine, just as you see here. And from there you're going to scrape down the sides of your bowl very carefully. Okay, here I have a hand mixer here. Now I'm going to mix this on high speed for about 30 seconds to 1 minute. Alright, scrape down the sides of the bowl and our topping is ready. Now to create a non-stick surface for your baking pan, you have 2 options here. First option, this is basically what I'm doing. I just sprayed the baking pan really well with the Baker's Joy non-stick baking spray. Now if you're using a parchment paper, you don't have to spray your pan with the Baker's Joy non-stick baking spray, but you do have to take some butter, some softened butter, and just spread it along the bottom and the sides of your baking pan. And from there you just add your sheet of parchment paper into the baking pan and just press it onto the bottom and the sides. Now to ensure that the sides fit into the baking pan, just take some kitchen scissors and just cut down like that. And from there you can just fit it into the baking pan like that, as you can see right here though. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 350 degrees. Okay, next I'm going to take the cake dough that we prepared. We're just going to add that in there. And from there we're just going to carefully push this down into the baking pan. Now you want to do this as evenly as possible. Just press it down like that. And you keep doing this until it reaches the sides. Some areas might be a little thicker than others, but make sure you just press it down as evenly as possible. Alright, that looks good. Okay, next add your apple slices right on in there. Just kind of assemble them in there a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect, just carefully align them in there. Okay, and here we have our cream cheese topping mixture. Just make sure you give it one last final quick stir. And from there, just pour it on top. Just spread it around just a little bit. Alright, so next what we're going to do is we're going to just shake our pan. We always do this to make the batter more even. As you can see, as you shake in the pan, the apples are starting to float at the surface. Don't worry about that, that is normal. And also tap it at the bottom with your hand. And as a final garnish, we're going to lightly sprinkle some cinnamon. It doesn't have to be a certain amount, just sprinkle just a little bit on top. There we go. Now it's ready to be baked. Place this into a preheated 350-degree oven on the middle rack. Bake this for 1 hour. Alright, it's been about 1 hour now for our cake. Now let's go ahead and remove this out of the oven. Now if you tap the top of the cake and it springs back, that lets you know that the cake is done. Let this cool for about 2 to 3 hours before removing it out of the pan. All right, it's been about 2 to 3 hours and our cake has cooled completely. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a sheet of parchment paper and I'm just going to add that on top of the cake. This is a flat surface. I have a chopping board and I'm just going to flip the cake over upside down onto the chopping board. All right, and that's how, ooh, look, they got a little piece there. I'm fix that right now. All right, there we go. That's how you fix that. But other than that, it came out perfectly. Now I'm going to flip it onto this cake serving pad. So I'll take the cake serving pad, place it on the bottom, and from there we're going to flip the cake back over. Remove that, and from there we could just peel this off. And ta-da! All right, now to serve this cake, you could just take a knife and just cut the cake, just as you see here. Now I'm just doing a demonstration because, you know, I already cut the cake already. And you can get about 12 to 15 servings right here. You see about 15. My cutting is a little off today, so here is the final presentation. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Apple Cinnamon Gooey Butter Cake, made by a New Orleans native. If you like my channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell button if you want to be notified of my videos. I have an official website for all of my recipes, including this one. Go to www.charliethecookandrews.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter under the name Charlie the Cook Andrews. Stay tuned as Charlie's Taste Test is coming up next. Can't wait. Now it's time to go ahead and take a bite. Y'all, look at that. Oh, my goodness. Here goes nothing. Mmm. Ooh. Y'all, this doggone cake is delicious. I mean, it is so rich, flavorful, nice apple flavor, nice cream cheese. I mean, I can't describe it. It is so good. I tell you, it's just like how it says, it's a ooey gooey cake. The apples, I mean, the cake just literally melts in your mouth. That's how good it is. So, give the recipe a try. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, have a good one. Peace.